here today, and this is my vision for the way that you're interacting with modern society in a way that's making it to where the fact that you live in a modern society makes it worse than if you were just a caveman or cavewoman or cave person. And what I mean by this is that if you actually look at the lifestyle of the average person, it's more boring, monotonous, repetitive, and derpy than the lifestyle of a cave person. And with all the different technological advancements that we have, it definitely shouldn't be that way. And there's ways of breaking that pattern and getting out of it. So in other words, you can have a situation where you wake up to an alarm when you don't want to, sit there and, brush your teeth, take a shower, go to the bathroom, eat some breakfast, commute to work, do a job that is very, very boring and does not expand you, drive home at maybe 6 or 7 or 8 p.m., smoke a J, drink a beer, watch some TV, look at the internet, go to bed, and do it again and again and again and again. And this is a lot of people's lives. A lot of people's lives is literally lived through different news media that they're watching and sort of feeling like they're a part of this big global narrative that's basically just been curated for them. And they're just sort of observing it, looking at the latest pop culture, and kind of trying to fit in the group and not make waves. That is the majority of people who live. And so if that's going to be your life, I think that's really, really boring. Now, on the other hand, you can actually benefit from modern society. There's a huge amount of amazing information out there. You can stimulate your mind. You can use airplanes and modern road systems to travel all over the planet. You could do work that you're super duper passionate about. You could become very, very expansive. You could take advantage of different biohacking and different things that you could do to give yourself more energy, more focus, more passion. You could study up on things like social skills, learn how to date and have relationships with the most attractive people in the entire world. You can make use of modern social media. You can be very, very creative. You can expand, you can live, and you can grow. And so what this comes down to is really the standard that you have for yourself of what it is that you're willing to accept, how much you value your time, your labor, your resources, and what kind of life it is specifically that you want to build. I'll also tell you before we crack into this that the major reason that this scares me for most people is not the fact that they're broke and not the fact that their life sucks. Okay, being broke, having a life that sucks, dating people that you're not attracted to, having friends that you don't like that much, and sort of coasting through life as a floating turd, that's not even the worst punishment. It's the fact that I will go from city to city to city every year, and I will see the same people. Say that I'm in Miami. I'm literally about to head to Miami, South Beach, and Orlando for some free events. So go to might even write that on the screen. Go to www.selfhelpfreetour. We've got Orlando coming up. That's the first time I've been to Orlando since 2014. Probably the last time I'll ever do an event in Orlando, particularly a free one. And then Miami is going to be huge. It's going to be 3 full days. The whole planet is flying in for that Miami event. Anywhere that you are in the world, definitely fly in. So www.selfhelpfreetour. Then we've got LA, Portland, Seattle, Chicago, Honolulu, New York City, Philadelphia, DC, Boston, Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Fran, San Diego. We got a whole bunch of them coming up after that. Julian is going to be doing a tour of Europe, all over Europe, everywhere you could think of. So click this link right now, www.selfhelpfreetour.com. Come and attend a free event. We put some of the choice cuts on here on social media, but the vast majority of it we never post. And we have an amazing curriculum that we take you through that helps you to make a lot more cash, to get a lot better socially, and to get spiritually tapped in. It's a very, very famous curriculum that we do. So go to the self-help or go to selfhelpfreetour.com and sign up, and definitely fly in for it if you get a chance. So that being the case, I'm always going to these different cities like the ones that I just mentioned in order to go do different events. I sometimes do, proper premium events. Other times I do free events. Just depends, right? But I'm always traveling, and I see these same cities again and again. And I will go see maybe somebody who's working at a restaurant, and I haven't seen them in a year. And I think back to my year, and my year has been this wild, amazing adventure. So much has happened. I've dated people that are ridiculous. I've gone to the most insane restaurants, best spas, best outdoors, spent beautiful quality time with my children, with my family. I've learned millions of dollars in skill sets. I've grown. I've become more present, happier, more at the cost and the effect of my own emotions. My infield skill set's gotten better. I'm getting access to better parties. My life is growing and growing and growing. And most of all, I'm happier, laughing more, smiling more, and more present to the moment. I'm more expanded, more aware, more awake. And this is something that every single person in the world should have. But you go back to these same cities, and you'll see they just have a little bit more wrinkles in their face. They look a little bit less present, laugh a little bit less, a little bit more derpy, a little bit more spaced out, a little bit more consumed by the poison of our modern day society and our modern day narrative. And so when you see this, you say to yourself, I don't want to become one of those people. This is not going to be me. I am not going to have the soul sucked out of me. You know, because fundamentally that's what it is that their soul has been sucked out of them. That's really what you're trying to avoid. Being broke, you know what? You can ride a bike. You can play catch. You can go to, you can joke around with your boys. You can go out to a bar or club. It's not that bad. But it's falling unconscious and having your soul sucked out of you as a battery for the system. That's the part that makes me physically freaking sick. So in order to break out of that pattern, you've got to be at a point where you have the basic understandings of a high-level person. And when you're operating as a high-level person, this is where you'll begin to accumulate a lot of money, but not just accumulate a lot of money. That's sort of okay. That's almost like an inevitability. Just like if you go, to a bar club, you don't have some big outcome like a creep, but instead you have genuine fun and genuinely connect with people, and you have genuinely cool things to invite them to, inevitably your dating life's gonna be psycho. Well, in the same way, if you genuinely wake up and genuinely are a high-value person, it is inevitable that you're gonna make a ton of cash. But this is the kind of thing where you've got to have that genuine awakening of what it means to be a high-level person. And this means that your motivation is stacked in the right direction because you see, the kind of whole thing as it's laid out. Like you see the whole chessboard as it's laid out. And as the chessboard is laid out, you know exactly what to do. You see through the BS, you know the game, you know the whole game top to bottom. You know how to build systems, you know how to operate it, you understand the video game. You ever played a video game where like at first you kind of didn't really understand it that well, and then maybe over time you came to understand that video game better and better, and then eventually got to the point that you could just annihilate that video game? You want to be like that with the game of life. Now, by the way, a couple things I'm going to mention here. So somebody here said, come to London. Jeff's coming to London. A couple of people are like, come to Europe. Julian's coming to Europe. Any major city in the States, I'm doing an event. So again, make sure that you get out to that free event, okay? Make sure www.selfhelpfreetour.com. Make absolutely sure that you get there, okay? Now, by the way, I have taught social skills and dating over the years, and I want to explain to you that, like, when you understand this, you become the kind of person where you just go say hi to somebody, and they can sense that you're that person. So understand, this is actually one of the challenges that I have with teaching social skills and dating, is that when you become this person, the kind of transformation that you have, you don't really need to do a lot because the self is always shining through and people can see it, okay? So you might be aware that we've had a program called www.endlessmotivation, which you could slip to that right now, www.endlessmotivationblueprint.com. Make sure that you get into that, okay? We have basically shut this thing down. We're not doing any more promotions for it. Endless Motivation Blueprint is an entire curriculum on the subject matter of what it is that we've been talking about here. It goes very, very deep into this so that you have total, utter control over your motivation, so that you see the whole chessboard as it's laid out, and you know exactly what to do when it comes to making more cash, being social, how to motivate yourself, how to get past all the mental chatter and just go directly to exactly what it is that you want to do. We have a private group in there. There's a lot of powerful conversations and a tribe in there. We have me doing regular Zoom meetings and talking to you in person, and we're just going to be running this like a touch longer, but we're shutting this down. So if you've been seeing Endless Motivation Blueprint and it's something that you want to get involved into, make sure that you hop into there right now. Like, I would just do this tonight, or if you're seeing the after broadcast, just get it done. We've shut this thing down. We're not promoting it anymore. We're going to be going into some different stuff, but this program is still ongoing and still running. We're closing the doors on Endless Motivation. It's the best thing I've done in a very long time. So hop in here. If you like these ideas of making more cash, getting better social results, being tapped in, and living an amazing, amazing life, get in there, start going through the course, start talking to people in the groups, and start getting and talking to me over the Zoom calls that we do, okay? I'll see you inside Endless Motivation. I've got a lot of great feedback on it, and I know that you guys are enjoying it, okay? Also, by the way, Alex, you saw, oh, I'm not doing Tampa anymore. Quick side point on this. Anytime that I ever put a tiny little market on the free tour page, That means that we're testing the water to see if maybe people, like enough people would come to support it. Tampa and Jacksonville, it did have some signups, but it wasn't enough to support it. What you guys should have done is you should have put, you should have got a bunch of your friends to sign up the second that you saw that on there. Don't be like, they're finally coming to Jacksonville and Jacksonville's getting the shine it deserves. Don't do that. We've got events in New York, San Francisco, Chicago, LA. That's mostly where we go. It's a huge money loser to go to these smaller cities. We occasionally do them out of passion. So again, we took off Tampa, we took off Jacksonville, but what I'd recommend that you do is that you go to Orlando, okay? Get yourself over to Orlando. It's a 2-hour drive. You can easily do that if you're in Jacksonville, if you're in Tampa, and likewise, even if you're in Orlando, come to the Miami event, which is going to be way better than the Orlando event because 3 full days, okay? All right, so going into that, let us continue down this path. So the next thing that I want to explain to you is, what does it mean to be a high-value person? What are some of the signs of what it means to be a high-value person? Okay, so I've got a little list here. Actually, you guys on Instagram, I'm going to see you guys in a little bit, okay? Because I'm going to go into my list, hop over onto YouTube. So I've got a cool little list that I put here, and I'm going to load it up because I was just sort of thinking of you guys a little bit. Okay, so here's the basic idea of being a high-level person. Sees through the BS, sees through the halo effect, sees through the agenda. You know, the agenda, I mean, this thing has just gotten so cartoonish, and it's so crazy that some people can't see through the agenda. It's like you can't even believe your eyes at the point. It's really separating the wheat from the chaff. Lasers in on the actual value and where to position people, and basically what is the actual value of everything and how to position it in your life. The next one would be knows what value everything adds and knows what it costs, including the hidden value, and sees the hidden costs. Like, you just see through the halo effect, you see through the narrative, you see through the BS, and literally you just see where the exact value of something is, you know the exact cost, you know the hidden value, you know the hidden cost, and you know how to position that synergistically in your life or how to cut it off. You just see it, it's obvious, okay? And this will be shining through your soul in every minute of your life. This is why the more that you understand this stuff, the less that you have to do socially. People that don't get this stuff, they just look depleted, and now they need a million little tricks in order to socialize. Next one is absolute self-motivation and control over your own will. In other words, people that are sitting there, you know, going through TikTok or, you know, just being brainwashed, they lack control over their own will. They're being pimped. It's pathetic, and knowing how to break through that. The next one is no crutches, no fantastical thinking, no egoic needs, like my ego says this, which is a crutch, and grounded in reality. In other words, you know you're the man or the woman, you know you're the best, but you also know that you have flaws, you also know that you have some problems, you also know that you have limitations, you also know that you have obstacles, you know all that. So you're not reliant on fantastical thinking, like you've put in such psycho amounts of work at your craft that you know that you're the best person in your craft, because you would never tolerate not being the best person in your craft, because you would just put in the work, obviously, because you know that's where the reward is, so you know there's no point in doing anything else. But at the same time, you get it that you know, you don't need this ego, right? People that need an ego to be haters, to put other people down, that's just a flat crutch. That's loser talk. Next one is values time and energy very, very highly, and you know how you expect to be treated. So in other words, you know, you're not that derper, like, you know, you say that you're attracted to someone, you're like carrying around their book bag, you're like, will you talk to me? Will you like me? Like, you know your value, you know how you expect people to treat you. So if they're not treating you that way, you're out of there. And you're not just out of there like, I'm leaving. It's like you just vanish. You vanish without even explaining yourself. Just no explanation, gone. All the highest level people that I know, if I say anything even slightly away from their vision, they don't give me a talking to, they just vanish. You just never see them again. That's how it always is. Why? They don't even care enough to explain themselves. I know that sounds rude. I get it. Next one, a very, very clear vision for what it is that you want. Like, you get it exactly what it is that you want. You know what it is that you want out of life. You're very, very clear on that. And it's like tunnel vision. And so anytime that you're in a position where something is not like kind of feeding that vision, like you're like, okay, this is not feeding my vision for my life, instantly it's gone. Instantaneously, it's out. Next one, building systems. So what I mean by building systems is that once you know what it is that you want, that's when you get to the point that you start hiring people, you start creating systems for what it is that you're doing, and you start creating leverage, and then you just create leverage, 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 and then you get to the point where money's stacking in, social connections stacking in, dates are stacking in, you're able to afford the highest quality foods, biohacking, all that kind of stuff. Like basically your world is your oyster, and you pretty much now have the superpower to basically create money on command, to create dates on command, social networking on command, go where you want on command, build what you want on command. You just write your own ticket in life. You are somebody in your prime. You're in the prime of your power. Look, you can understand why, even in the dating scene, there's a huge gap that's happening now because of Instagram and social media. There's some people who simply get this stuff and some who don't. Imagine, for example, that you're trying to date somebody and then you're looking for someone who's very powerful. And then you're seeing these clowns who don't get this stuff, like these absolute loser clowns. And I know that's mean, I'm just being honest, who don't get this stuff. And you're like, why don't you just stop looking at TikTok? Why don't you stop smoking weed, get this stuff, and then, be the man? But you're just like choosing not to do that. Like you're choosing to make my life miserable by virtue of associating to you because you can't just do the basic right things. And that's totally, totally crazy. And it creates massive, massive, massive resentment. And this is why you go out and you wind up seeing people, their significant other, and they wind up jumping off of them onto you because they've amassed and accrued huge amounts of bitterness towards their significant other. And what winds up happening is they're just angry at them for not doing these basic things that I'm saying. And then they wind up, engaging in infidelity. And it's just the most common thing that you'll see. Why does that happen so much? It just happens because when you're not doing these things, it creates bitterness in the people that you're with. It creates bitterness in your staff. It creates bitterness in the people that you're leading. It creates bitterness in the people that you date. It creates bitterness in your kids. Like if you can't handle these basic pillars, it just creates insane, insane, insane bitterness. And that is why I tell you, get into Endless Motivation Blueprint, because I want to work with you on this. I want to take you by the hand, walk you past the smoking wreckage of the chaos of this. I want to get you to a point where you're not dealing with this kind of chaos. The problem is when you don't get ahead of this stuff and you don't get on top of it, you start becoming broke, you're working a crappy job, you're dating crappy people, you're miserable, and you can barely even get focused enough to get motivated to pull yourself out of that. It's so demoralizing. You get so utterly demoralized and miserable that there's no vision of a better future and you can't take action. When you start nailing this stuff down and you have a peer group of other like-minded people that are also nailing it down and everybody's creating a culture of getting this down and the group, in the culture of the group, we raise each other up, then what winds up happening is everybody starts escalating, then the standards go higher, then we work together, and then it's an upward spiral. If you want to be a part of that upward spiral, I'm shutting this down, www.endlessmotivationblueprint.com. I've got to get you inside of here now, okay? So I've pushed this thing, I've given the warning, you got to just get in here now. This thing is gone. So if you want to do Endless Motivation Blueprint, just get in there. Like pretty much just click on this before this thing ends. Or if you're seeing the replay of this, just click in it quickly because you're going to see soon, you're going to go to the website and it's not going to be available anymore. And then even if you do get it, then it's still not going to be the Zooms that I'm doing anymore. So you're missing one of the best parts. So I would really just hop in there right now, start going through the curriculum, get in the group, get on the Zooms, and let's start working together, okay? Again, this is if you like money. Like, do you hate money? Do you hate dates? Do you hate being happy? Do you hate writing your own ticket in life? If you do, then that wouldn't be for you. If you're somebody who likes these things and you see the value of just throwing your hat over the fence, burning the boats, and going for it, get inside Endless Motivation Blueprint. Sickest thing I've done in a long time. I'm actually doing this right now after a 15 or 16 hour workday. It's like the end of the day, and I'm catching a live at the end of the day. Okay, so I'm kind of trying to show a little example of that right here, even by virtue of this live. Okay, so by the way, I'm going to turn back on Instagram now, and then we're going to keep on going because we were able to read off of that list. So that was kind of a cool thing. Okay, so next thing I want to go into is I want to get you thinking about like what the actual purpose of life is. Like, what is the actual purpose of life? What's the point of life? What's the point in doing all this stuff? So, what I mean by that is start to get in touch with how boring your life is. Okay, get in touch with how utterly uninteresting and boring your life is. And get in touch with the fact that like you're basically being pimped by modern society in the sense that your life would, again, if your life clearly would have been better, like if you would have had a better life just being a cave person. And literally your life would have been better if there was never modern society invented at all. If that's where your life is, you've got to start to ask yourself, what is the actual point of this? So in other words, one of the things that I said in the video, or so far in the video, is I said, are you able to audit what is the value of something? Like, can you see through the narrative? Can you see through the BS? Can you see the clear, utter BS around you? And can you get to the core of what is the point? Okay, so look, let's take LA as an example. Okay, so I live in Los Angeles. What is the point in living in Los Angeles? And you need to think about this quickly of whatever city that you're in. I'm going to do LA, but you need to think very, very clearly of what's the point of like being in whatever city that it is you're in. Okay, so LA has one of the better Hollywood club scenes. LA has a very, very good mansion party scene, okay, because there's all these mansions up in the hills. So the clubs in LA close at 2. You know, New York, they close at 5 usually, right? In LA, they close at 2. There's a lot of amazing mansions in LA. So there's an amazing mansion party circuit in LA. It's hard to get into, but once you're in, you're in. So the very first thing that you should be doing as soon as you're in LA is you should be getting into the clubs and you should be getting in the most exclusive parties. So why? Because you're in LA. You're paying way too much in rent. Like your rent would be 30% the price in most of the rest of the country or less. You're paying that to be here. What are you doing here unless you're actually using it? We have really, really good beaches. There's better in the country, but I call it very, very good beaches. Depends on your standard. I used to live in Hawaii, not as good. We have Malibu. So, you know, you should be actively hiking regularly in Malibu, right? Why are you going to live in LA if you're not going to be hiking in Malibu? From there, you also have really, really good other social media influencers. So you should be doing networking. Why? Because you're paying all this extra money to be in LA, so you should be networking with other social media influencers. You should be dating people that are very, very attractive, because people that are very, very attractive come to LA. So why would you be dating a regular person if you're not dating someone that you're really into, if you're going to pay all that extra money in rent and be in LA, right? Have less space for more money if you're going to be in LA. You should also be taking on a lot of the successful mindsets of people that can afford to live in a place with like 5x the expenses. So you should be adopting, like I said inside Endless Motivation, you're around people that have raised their standards. Like, you should be learning from other people here. The point is, like, you get out of the small town because people there aren't pushing themselves. People there are not necessarily super active. I love what they do. I think they do other things. There's a different type of value there. But if you're going to be in LA, then you go for the value. We also have really good museums here. You know, have you been to the Getty? Have you been to LACMA? Have you been to Griffith and things like that? You'd probably want to check out the really nice things like that. We have great luxury shopping down on Rodeo. You'd want to be shopping down on Rodeo. Like, again, like, if you can't afford to shop on Rodeo, if you can't go to the good parties, if you're not doing networking among social media influencers, why are you here? Now, you could be here to build it, but if your plan is to live here, you should be doing those things. There's world-class restaurants here. You should be going to those, and so on and so forth. You also in California have direct access to San Diego's amazing. It's close by, so you should be doing regular trips to San Diego, Sequoia National Park, Yosemite, Joshua Tree, Death Valley, Redwood Forest, which is like where they shot like the Ewoks part of Empire Strikes Back or whatever that was. You know, we've got great skiing in Tahoe. We've got a close-by ski hill, Big Bear Mountain, and Mammoth. You can get an Icon Pass, and you could be skiing on those whenever you want. You might want to get into things like surfing. And the biggest thing, of course, is really, really high-end clients. Like, one of the reasons that I've been able to be successful is that there's a lot of multimillionaire clients who live in LA. So you want to be networking in circles of people that have a lot of money because they're willing to spend. So what I'm saying this, I know that this is like a little bit kind of off the wall, like, why are you explaining LA? That's an example of, like, if you're going to live in LA, that's what you do. That's the LA thing to do. If you're not doing something like that or your own version of it, what are you doing here? Okay, so that would be the value of LA. What is the problem of LA? It has problems with traffic. There's a huge traffic problem. There's pollution issues in LA. And so you've got to recognize that, like, basically, like, I live in a big fat crib, so I don't have to go to an office. If you're going to an office in LA, that is like, you're not doing the LA thing properly, because now you're stuck in 2 hours of traffic per day. You're not doing the LA thing properly, right? The joke around LA is the typical LA person. You see them working at a cute little cafe from 10 p.m. until 3 p.m. Why? Because they don't want to drive during rush hour. Now, believe it or not, when I'm saying this, okay, as I'm saying this makes you better at dating. Now, why do I say that? Like, what does that have to do with dating? Like, you're like a good tourist? Like, you're like good at like doing this weird Hollywood thing, and that makes you better at dating? Yes, it does. Here's why. people who you want to attract can very, very quickly tell if you're a winner or if you're a loser, and they can tell this by the energy emanating out of your eyes. They can see if you're somebody who's being sucked off of as a battery in the matrix, or if you're somebody who has an excess of energy. There's more coming in than is going out. So if you actually look at Los Angeles, it's fascinating because I think there's something like the surrounding area is like 20-ish million people. Is it 17? Is it 25? I don't know these days. Whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. And if you look at most of LA, like the Hollywood Hills that you see here, or Beverly Hills, or Bel Air, or Santa Monica, or the nicer parts of Venice, or Malibu, or Brentwood, like the couple areas that are actually decent is like 5% of the city. The other 95% of the city is like Whittier, I can't even remember. John, what are the names of some of these like suburbs around it? Like Victorville, Whittier, you know, what's that one? Like, it's so bad. It's the, there's like sulfur from the, like the pollution from LA goes there. It starts with a B. It's like as you drive into Vegas, like that really like horrible Barstow, or it's the one, Bakersfield, right? Like most of LA is like Bakersfield, Whittier, Victorville. And look, maybe you live there, maybe you like it, so I'm a total dick. I apologize. But I'm just making the point, like, people drive in for 90 minutes. Like, sometimes I'm coming back from Vegas late, right? And you literally see people driving in for like 90 minutes to 2 hours. Because, like, I was at some epic party in Vegas. I drove back to LA overnight. Probably stupid, but I just did it. And I'm seeing this like 2 hour drive as traffic gets thick on the outside of LA. And we sit there bumper to bumper to get into LA proper for 2 hours. Now, when I do this, I'm like, man, I'm so stupid. Why didn't I leave Vegas earlier or just sleep over? Because I hit rush hour. But it's actually a very, very powerful reminder. Kind of like when you go to Walmart and you see like these like fluorescent lights everywhere, and like, you know, like some fat parent like throwing, like eating Cheetos and smacking their kid. Like, it's actually a good reminder to see that that is what the majority of the world actually looks like. And the sad thing about it is that the vast majority of them are unhappy. They're commuting like crazy, and they're getting all the bad parts of LA, but they're not getting any of the good parts of LA. So in other words, they are being sucked dry. Like the 95 or 99% are being sucked dry, working low-paying jobs, annoying commute, soul-sucking work, processed foods, watching TV, and they're so spaced out that they can't break themselves out of it. They're demoralized, they're spaced out. Again, endlessmotivationblueprint.com. The purpose is to break that pattern. And you might not think that you're in it, but where's the money? Where's the dating? Where's the results? And even if you have it, you got to go to a higher level. Where's your full potential? So you got to be in there. Get inside Endless Motivation Blueprint. We're taking this thing down. We're moving on. I'll still be teaching it, but it's not going to be available on the front end. So get inside here. Now, from that standpoint, when you're somebody who knows how to do LA properly, what else does that mean? Okay, that's a metaphor. Because I have a feeling this will be one of the less popular videos. It's like, give me the trick, give me the technique. But I'm showing you the trick. I'm showing you the technique. In other words, when you have this down, you walk up to someone, you say hi, and the attraction is all there in many cases. Not every case, because nothing's 100%, but in many cases. It's like you're just one of those people who gets it. So in the same way, like in order to pass what's called a congruence test, right? Like when someone's acting up who you're attracting, and they start acting up and it's a congruence test, that same ability to recognize the truth and see through the BS, in the same way, that's also what allows you to see a false societal narrative and know that it's a lie. Right? We've seen, you know, ever since 2020, we've seen huge amounts of lying. Like the lying has just gotten out of, like it's just like, it's gone into a cartoon universe of such utter lying, so much corporate agenda and so on and so forth. It's gotten so ridiculous that it's separated the wheat from the chaff. Like thinking for yourself has become like the new thing. Like that's like the new cool thing, is like, you're not dumb enough to believe the agenda. Like that's literally become the new cool thing, which is crazy. Like why did it get like that? Like why are we at a point that it's there, like that it's like that? Like that's like these systems are supposed to be helping us. It's insane. And there's gonna have to be total focus on, you know, people who care about other human beings actually building something. You know, it's just going to be crazy. But in the meantime, it's getting really, really nuts because the system is able to just utterly suck off of people. It's totally crazy. So from that standpoint, you know, someone gives you congruence tests, you easily pass it, right? Like you see through the BS. You see where the value is and where the value isn't. Look, let me give you a simple example when you run a business. When you run a business, every single staff member that you have is going to want to get paid the most amount possible while doing the least amount possible. Every single staff member that you have is probably going to lie at some point on their pay stub, like on the hours they put in. They're probably going to overestimate their contribution. They're going to underestimate their consumption and believe, they're going to think, I barely cost anything and I'm giving so much. The whole success of the organization is because of me. Most are going to believe that. They're never going to truly look at it. That's just human nature, right? Like if you go out to a restaurant and you go to and you know, break out the bill, most people don't want to pay the tip, they don't want to pay the tax, and they forgot that they ordered a drink. That's human nature. It's rationalization. Underestimating what they cost, overestimating what they're contributing because of their ego. And so, and because of biology and DNA. So like to be a high-level person, you have to be able to be friends with the people who you work with and the people that you employ, but you also understand that that's what they're going to do. Like you get it that that's what they're going to do. You understand that the person who you're dating or in a relationship with is going to ask you to cuddle all day, tell you not to go to the gym, tell you that they love you for you, but then as soon as you fall off, they're going to leave you and dump you. Like you understand that you can have both a loving relationship with somebody while simultaneously, like, I don't want to say the word hostile or adversarial, but the same person that's saying, I love you unconditionally, I want to cuddle you all day, just spend more time with me, more time with me, more time with me, and then you listen, you fall off, and then what they do is they have what's called an RAS flip, and whereas before they pedestalize you and focus on the positive things and you all overlooking the negative, now they overlook the good things about you, they focus on the negative, and they leave. And they tell you it's your fault. All because you listened. You see what I'm saying? Like, you go by the social narrative, you get screwed, all because you listened. Right? You watch television, which sucks you in to watch some stupid TV thing, and then flashes ads at you and then sells that ad time to some stupid corporation. You get screwed, all because you listened. You're thinking, I'm doing a regular job. You know, I drive in from Victorville to LA. I'm doing the right thing. You get screwed, all because you listened. So you didn't understand that you have to have that awareness, that alertness. You have to see where the value is, right? Like if I have a staff member, I get it that there's certain things that they do well and certain things that they do poorly. I understand that. So I understand how to position them in a place where they can excel. I understand that they're going to be inherently lazy, no matter, even A players. I understand that they are either going to uplift or toxify the culture. I understand that they see the vision or they don't. You see what I'm saying here? I understand when I'm dating somebody, if they are being disruptive and annoying and try to take me off my game, or if they are actually adding to me and building me up. Like, how many relationships have you been in where the physical intimacy is good, but they're complaining a lot? And you never actually do an audit to be like, okay, well, the physical intimacy feels good. That lasts for 15 to 30 minutes a day. And then the other 15 and a half hours, they're being a brat, or at least for a lot of it. So I'm actually at a net energy negative. So why if you're in the wrong relationship, it could destroy your business. I've literally had it where like our cash flow is cratering because I love someone too much to break up with them. I just love them too much, but they're being disruptive. And then at the end of it, as I crater and then I lose my swag because my whole world's imploding, they leave me. And I'm like, you? Like, you're the cause of this. Doesn't matter. They have an RAS flip. They're not willing to see it. Why? All because in those cases, I listened. You see that? I listened. So a high-level person is able to see through the BS and know the value of something. And they're able to pull back a little bit and see what the value is. By the way, for you guys on IG, go to YouTube. So, so I'm going to just quickly look over these notes here because I want to keep this like nicely on track for you guys. So, yeah, basically a high-value person is able to laser in with laser focus on what is the actual value of something and where to position it. But also a high-level person sees the hidden cost. And Tim C, it is live, okay? We do these 100% live. I just do them live because I enjoy it as like a hobby, okay? So So basically, lasering in on that, okay? So the other thing now is we've got to start auditing what is the, what would you say if you were to audit is the hidden benefit of something and the hidden cost of something? So in other words, right, like you'll see guys like they get a new girlfriend, they're like, is she hot, bro? Bro, is she hot? Look, having a hot girlfriend is amazing, of course. But I have seen many guys that had a hot girlfriend or girls that had a hot boyfriend or same-sex couple make each other miserable. Like, feel good, feel good. Release, release, release. Ooh. Okay, feels good for 20 minutes. What about the rest of the day when the person's insane, when the person is emotionally dysregulated? And you know that emotional dysregulation is contagious. They proved that. Look up Sam Vaknin, borderline personality disorder. You know, videos like the BP, the borderline personality, exports their mental illness to you temporarily. You know, the narcissist exports their mental illness to you. Somebody who's whacked out will export their low standards, export their mental illness, export their disruptiveness, export their emotional dysregulation. They don't want to win. They're never going to win. So you've either got to be able to create a reality where that is kept moving forward and not becoming too disruptive, or you've got to be at a point where you know where to cut that off, right? And that same ability to draw a boundary in those situations is the same ability to also do that when you go to a bar or club. Like, I have approach anxiety. It's like, where's your boundary? Like, why don't you have a boundary around nervousness, around social anxiety? Social anxiety at its root is basically just low internal boundaries. Likewise, being lazy and not understanding how to self-motivate. Like, oh, I can't motivate myself. That's low internal boundaries. You don't have a clear enough vision of where you're going, and you don't see the hidden penalty of what it is that you're doing. So as an exercise, what I'd like every single person here to do, I think this would be great, is think about anything in your life, okay? Think about literally anything in your life. And what I want you to do is I want you to actually start thinking about everything that it is that you're engaging with and think about the hidden benefits and the hidden costs. So in other words, let's say that you go to Starbucks in the morning. What are the benefits? What are the costs? Benefit would be you get to relax, and it's a ritual. Amazing. Relax and a ritual. What are the hidden costs? The money, that's actually not a hidden cost. That's an obvious cost. But the biggest cost is the time in line. And the next biggest cost is the mental haze later in the day, right? So for example, some people will use, say, alcohol or cigars as a ritual, or weed as a ritual. Look, I don't want to take away your ritual. I don't want to make your life miserable. It gives you happiness. It gives you joy. It gives you a chance to pause. I get it. But what are the hidden costs of this? How is this affecting your mental clarity? How is this putting cancer in your body? You know, you're in it to win it. Well, how are you going to live a nice long life if you're ingesting this stuff? What does it also say to your sense of self-worth when you're poisoning yourself? So so there's a whole bunch of different hidden costs. And then those hidden costs will also start to stack up. And as they start to stack up, then it's more hidden costs, more hidden costs, more hidden costs, more hidden costs. You got to think of life like a basketball game or a hockey game or a football game. And you're trying to put points on the board while minimizing people getting points on you. And if you can do that effectively, that's how you win. That's how you crush it. Okay? So likewise, self-motivated and control of your own will. Well, where does that come from? It comes from clearly knowing what you want. So this is a huge thing that we do inside of Endless Motivation Blueprint. If you haven't been inside Endless Motivation Blueprint, okay, again, right here, we're shutting this thing down. So if you're seeing this later, you could try your luck, but I'm running a bunch of Zooms and in-person trainings in it too, and those will be gone. So www.endlessmotivationblueprint, just get right in there, okay? Like, we are taking this thing down. It is gone. I've given a couple warnings now. Please, like, just, if you want to change your life and you want me to help you and you want to be around a culture of people that are changing their lives, and you want to get rid of all this crap and zero in on how to win, get inside Endless Motivation Blueprint. Amazing reviews on it. Best thing I've done in a long time. Hop right in here. I'm really, really excited for you to see it. I can't wait for you to see this thing. This is me ranting and riffing. Inside there, it is structured and really, really potent and a lot of personal feedback and a great tribe. I'd love to see you inside here. If you're the right fit and if you're ready to bring some energy and if you're ready to change your life, that is for you. So what we do at Endless Motivation Blueprint is we also try to get you to zero in on what it is that you actually want in detail. And what we want to do is we want to create some kind of like a little program where you have an overwhelm of moving towards the things that you want that, like a tsunami, overwhelm all the other components of the things that you don't want that you accidentally do. So, if you're like, okay, I want to stop going to Starbucks and wasting 20, 30 minutes a day on it, wasting money on it and poisoning myself. Okay, fine. Well, you could try to fight it. Like, I'm fighting it. I want to relax. I want my ritual. It's nice. It's fun. Are you going to really fight all these things individually and somehow win? I don't see that as being remotely realistic. So instead, what we want to do is we want to get to the point that you so utterly clearly know exactly what it is that you want, exactly what it is that you're trying to get out of life, that what you wind up doing is that you don't even think about this stuff. So let me give an example. Anonymous, he writes, video games and bad food, benefits escapism, cost waste of time. So I view it like, on average, there's maybe a tiny handful of video games that are worth it. What do I mean by that? There's a couple video games out there that will raise your IQ, that are creative masterpieces, and that you'll never forget. Like, I played Horizon Zero Dawn, and I played God of War. And I genuinely think about those things every single day. Every day of my life, I think about those things, and they put a smile on my face, because I thought those two games were amazing, and they actually taught me different thinking processes. In fact, a lot of what I even teach here, I learned from playing Horizon Zero Dawn, believe it or not. Why? Because Horizon Zero Dawn is a simulation of how life works in many ways, open world game. Okay? So I think about it every day. So like, for example, I don't know how much you can see in the screen here, but there's like a screenshot of like Big Sur. I drove Big Sur, and I think about that drive that I did to Big Sur every day. I think about the trips that I did around Utah every day. I think about the trips that I did around Montana every day. I think about the trips I did around Oregon, New Mexico, Maine, Washington State, Arizona, Texas, Alabama, Savannah, Georgia was beautiful, Florida. Like, I think, all the beautiful ski resorts I've been to. I think about these things every single day. They bring me incredible joy. They were worth it. So there's a couple video games that are worth it. But I've tried to play video games and I can't do it. My brain won't let me do it. It doesn't align to what it is that I want to do. So unless a game is a masterpiece work of art, I physically can't go play it. Likewise, when it comes to, like, people talk about like no fap challenge, and it's like resist fapping. If somebody were to send me something to look at that would like spontaneously make me want to sit at home fapping, I'd be like, that sounds amazing. Like, how great would that be? Like something you could watch that's so good that you just want to sit at home and fap. Like, that's got to be pretty amazing. But I haven't seen it. I don't really have a problem with that, because there's nothing that, like, it's my desire for what it is that I'm building is too high, and it's too compelling. So as a result of that, I don't resonate with it. I'm not against fapping. I'm not one of these no fap guys. I'm not against video games. I'm not against junk food. I'm not against weed. I'm not against anything. I don't resonate with it, and I don't even know that it exists. To be against it would be to give it too much reactive energy. I'm not against it. I just don't even know that it exists. Like, when I see people smoking weed or cigarettes, cigars, alcohol, all this stuff, I don't even know what they're doing. Like, I'm like, this is a joke, right? Like, you're not really doing this. When I see people working a 9-to-5 job, I think they're kidding. It's not even real to me they're working a 9-to-5 job. That's not in my reality. That's why I like it when I get stuck on my way in from Vegas, going through like Victorville and Whittier and stuff. I'm like, this is like a real thing. This is like most people. This is crazy. Like, I like that. Like, I like seeing people, like I find these things just like fascinating. It's like, I watch it and I'm so distanced from it, it doesn't even feel real. I don't live in that world. It's not real to me. I have empathy for it, but then again, programs like Endless Motivation Blueprint, when people have a choice to pull themselves out of it, right? Like, I want to care for people who care about themselves. Like, I can't care about you more than you care about you. So again, if you're just logging on to this live, I'm excited to see you inside Endless Motivation Blueprint. We're shutting this thing down, by the way, so if this has been an interest for you, get inside there. So, like I said, the next one, no internal crutches, no fantastical thinking, very grounded to reality. And what I mean by this, oh, and by the way, I thought JMW made a good comment. To be fair, the no-fap thing is for younger dudes that grew up with ubiquitous adult film and it altered their brain chemistry. So this is like why, as a father, it's so incredibly important for me to make sure that my kids just don't grow up in that mentality. Like, you should have a reality that's so utterly compelling. Like, your reality should be so much fun and so exciting to you that, you know, if you want to spank the monkey one night, and that's fun for you, or eat a Cheeto or something, fine, go do it. But this isn't something you have to, like, you shouldn't have to resist anything. You shouldn't have to struggle to get to task. You shouldn't struggle to have a vision. These are things that you should view as highly, highly urgent, okay? Highly, highly urgent. And you should naturally go do these things. So, you know, we make it sound as though like someone who's like on the ball, like they're special, like a guy like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, they're so unique and special. That should be normal. That, it doesn't mean that you're at their level. They have, you know, some genetic components and so on and so forth. But that, like, operating at that kind of gear is not a big deal. And it's probably easier than the person driving in for 2 hours from Victorville. Like, why wouldn't you want to just be Jordan, drive around in fancy cars, have all the money that you want, but then just focus on your craft? It doesn't make any sense to do it otherwise. It's actually easier to punch through the wall than to punch at the wall, you know, loose-wristedly. So, next point here. So what does it mean to be grounded in reality with no fantastical thinking? It means none of this like, it's all going to work out. It's all for the good. This is all working out like in my benefit in this narcissistic little narrative where it's all for me. What are you talking about? What do you say to that guy that just drove in from Victorville and got in a car accident? Or that person that lives in, what was that place again with all the fumes? Bakersfield. What do you say to that person with Bakersfield that's inhaling poison and doesn't move? Like they're inhaling, like they're getting all the fumes from the LA bowl dumped onto them and don't even have the perks of LA. I mean, again, like, as far as attraction and dating, when they're talking to you, they're looking to see at what kind of person you are. You can see it in the eyes when someone comes from that place. What is it again? It's like not even real to me. My brain literally blocks it. Bakersfield. Okay, when someone comes from Bakersfield, and again, I'm sure there's amazing people there, great, lovely people, God-fearing people, hardworking people, honest people, people that I care about. But when you're sitting in a pollution bowl and you haven't made a choice to get out, and it's like, well, it's just too hard, like, you gotta try harder. Like, you just gotta try harder. And you got to start looking at the kind of thought processes that it is that we are teaching you here, okay? So, next one, values time and energy highly. Knows and knows how you expect to be, like, knows and expects how to be treated. So, let me give an example. People will say to me, like, I'll give you, $1,000 for a phone call, or I'll give you $1,000 to take you to lunch and pick your brain. And I think 99% of people would really say yes to that. That is insane to me. In what world can someone get an hour of your time for that? If your time is being burned down, you can't leverage that. Only at the very, very, very beginning of your journey should you be accepting that. It's okay to get paid less if you're learning something, part of a culture, part of something that you believe in, you're getting other experiences, and so on and so forth, right? You are part of something bigger. But if it's just a straight cash exchange, then you've got to be asking yourself, where's the time going? That same hour, you could have been learning high leverage skills, you could have been investing into yourself, and you could have been planning your escape. Now, I give this $1,000 an hour thing, and basically, oh, this is cool. Somebody said that they found an old speech from my Uncle Ramsey in an interview from the 60s. Please pass that along to me on Instagram. I'd love to see that. So my uncle, he was a famous historian. So coming from that standpoint, do you value your time, to the point where you're planning your escape and you're using all your time? What I'm saying with the $1,000 an hour thing is meant to shock you, because it's meant to make you realize that if you're using an hour, if you shouldn't be doing a lunch for $1,000 for an hour, then look at all the other dumb crap that you're using your time on. So you've got to view your time as very, very, very valuable. Now look, being honest, for the average person, to do the $1,000 lunch does make sense, but you should be in, you should be out, give the best lunch to that person that you can, and then keep it moving. But every single minute of every single day should be used for one of the following things: planning your escape from the trap that we're talking about here, laughing and having fun, but not using drugs or alcohol, educating yourself, or having profound life experiences. or resting or giving yourself nutrition. But anything other than that, and you're limiting your life. Okay, and then what this ultimately comes down to is building systems that support this, like we said, okay? So basically you get to the point that your time is worth more than what you can hire someone for, then you go hire that person to do that job. They are at an earlier level in their path or may not care to go further. You hire them, and then you multiply yourself. And you do this again and again and again and again. How far into the live are we right now, by the way? I just want to see how we're doing. We're about 50 minutes in. Okay, so maybe chat about 10 more minutes. Okay, so funny enough, Brian says, I'm applying for a job today that pays $250K in Victorville. So look, congrats, bro. $250K. You're in California. You'll keep about $125K of it or whatever, right? Whatever you'll keep. Now, that being the case, Victorville, I'm sure it's not that bad as the way I'm making it out, but what's your escape, right? Is that a trap? Are you like, I'm making $250K, and then you just live in Victorville forever? Or do you break out of it? I congratulate you. That's actually a great job. Congratulations, my man. But is your plan to break out of it? It says, yeah, you're driving back and forth from Victorville to UCLA. So that's going to be pretty rough, right? And look, that's what young people do, right? I'm guessing, like, Brian, how old are you, by the way? Let me see how, I'll base my opinion on this on your age. You tell me the truth. Tell me the truth, Brian, and I'll tell you my honest opinion, okay? I'll look back down in a second. There's like a slight time delay. So, you basically want to be, like, younger people will, like, like, I lived on floors when I was younger. Absolutely. I worked for cheap when I was younger. Absolutely. But look at what I was doing. I would do, say, a live training initially for free. But I was doing it for free because I was building skills. Later, I did live trainings in exchange for free airfare and would sleep on a floor. But I was building skills and testimonials. Later, what I did was oh, by the way, quick update. So Brian is 38. So Brian, if you like what it is that I'm teaching, use that money, live very cheap, save all the money, build skills, build skills, build skills, and then that gets you a little bit of a buffer, whether that's for educational trainings like Endless Motivation Blueprint right here, or whether that is for investing in yourself, into other things, and so on and so forth, and then plan your escape. It's okay to work in Victorville as long as you're planning your escape. But what you don't want to do, bro, is you don't want to be like, I just live in Victorville forever now, and you know, I get after tax, I make like a low six-figure job. Okay? So yeah, so Brian says, I've been around this culture for a long time. I'm starting businesses as well as this one stream of income. That sounds great. Yeah, so in other words, you want to see this as something that is like a temporary thing, but you've always got to be building skills. Like, I understood when I used to go out every night and work on social skills, and I'm still out about 4 or 5 nights a week. I understand that I'm using those social skills for public speaking, for social awareness, for raising winner effect. I'm building a world-class level skill set that I can use to network and get all these different opportunities. Like, I have an understanding of the way that the chessboard is laid out. So, you know, that's kind of what it is that I'm trying to get through to you here, is I'm trying to show you, like, there's a way that the chessboard is laid out, okay? So, Napreklek here says he makes $10.50 an hour. That's $378 a week as a first-year apprentice. 10 years later, you make $160K a year as a qualified electrician working the mines. So again, read the book, How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis would be my recommendation to you and to all of you. He's the passed away guy that created Maxim. Go read that. It's a very brutal book. I don't agree with all the ethics of it, but I think there's a powerful mentality there. And what I would say is, you know, go work as an electrician, but then when are you going to own the business? If you see what I'm saying there, right? So if you see opportunity to take it further, learn how to own the business. Like, understand that everything that I'm doing, I'm looking for multiple ROIs. I'm looking for alternate angles for income and particularly for increase of skill set. And I'm always increasing skill, increasing assets, creating multiple streams of income, playing, like, you've got to be a master of playing the board, okay? So you might remember I've given this example before, but you used to see myself when I would do coaching, social coaching, for example, and then you'd see the other coaches. And here was why I always made the most cash. So what I would do, what most coaches would do is, let's say that they were teaching a 3 to say 9-person event. Okay, they'd fly in, they'd teach the 9-person event, they'd go home. You know, you make a couple $1,000. Okay, cool. All right, fair enough. So in your mind, you're like, wow, you know, I went out to some bars and clubs. I taught this cool event. Everybody thanked me, made a couple $1,000. I'm doing great. Most of the time when I was building the business, a lot of business relied on my income. So as a result, I couldn't afford to do that. I just couldn't even run the business if I did that. So what I would do is I'd go into a city. I'd go in that city and I would do a free event. At that free event, I would record it. At the free event, by recording it, I'm getting a big audience even when I was a very young and new teacher. I'm a young and a new teacher, now suddenly in front of an audience, which is giving me authority. Then what I can do is, as I'm teaching to that audience, I can see how well they're understanding it. If they're not understanding it properly, I can improve my teaching and become a better teacher. Then I can say, hey, there's really cool local groups here. So I can use the fact that I gathered everybody to create local groups all over the world, so we have our own cool little tribes in each major city. Then what I would do is I would do a little bit of upselling, so now all of a sudden you make a couple $100K in upselling. Then what you do is you make a cheap event. So I used to have my old hot seat program. That was $300. Piles of people would pile into that, as well as a bunch of people would get premium events. Then what I would do is now I've recorded the footage, I've improved my teaching by seeing how people react to it, I've created a local community, I've met a whole bunch of people when I'm there who may do business with me later, I've done a whole bunch in sales. Then what I do is in the daytime, I go teach the inexpensive program. Well, what happens when you teach an incredible hot seat was amazing, so crazy, so crazy. I should re-release a hot seat on my thing. You want me to do that? Maybe I'll do that at some point. So hot seat, amazing. Once somebody's attended the hot seat, they're even more invested and they see the benefit. Now maybe they're going to take a premium training. Then I would record me teaching the hot seat for digital product release. Then I could release the digital product, do a couple million from that. Then what I would do is when I would go out to teach, I would record myself teaching, get all the footage from that. I'd be teaching other instructors who then I could get working on my team. I'm not just going to go teach, I'm also teaching other instructors how to teach. That's why I always have great coaches. I'm learning from teaching those coaches. I'm learning from the people who I'm teaching live. I'm getting field experience from the people that I'm teaching live. Then what I'm doing is I am recording that so that I can use it in products and programs. Then at the end of that program, if people like it, maybe they'll do other programs, and so on and so forth. So rather than walking out of there with like 6K or 9K, you should walk out with like 300K or 500K. So you'll notice that there's winners and losers in life. Winners and losers in life. Some people think at wow, like I went to a bar club for a couple hours and I made 5K. Wow. And they think that that's like, that their life just somehow moved forward. Their life probably moved backwards. They think they're moving forward, they're actually moving backwards. And so you've got to understand how all of these little mechanics work, and you've got to use all of these little mechanics in your favor. You've got to be thinking to yourself, how do I add the most value to other people, and how do I have the most exchange and get ROI with my interaction with others? And you've got to be thinking about all that as well. Now, really high level people, and I'm not going to get into this in depth here, but it is Easter today, also know where to get infinite energy from. So you're not just getting energy from what you take or exchange, but you're also tapping in transcendently. And so that is a whole topic for a whole other video. And in fact, I have a huge backlog that I shot over the country that goes in great depth in that, and the most depth I've ever done by far. But you can start off reading Eckhart Tolle, Power of Now, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in the Bible, Tao Te Ching, Bhagavad Gita, many holy texts, and you can start studying those. And you can also learn how to kind of tap in and then get more ROI there. And then even as you're working, it's cleansing you and expanding your soul. And then you're benefiting that way too. But I didn't really provide a super deep argument for that here. But I do in other videos coming out that I explain that quite in amazing detail, actually. And that's also the kind of thing that makes it where you're not like getting beat down year to year to year. So another very, very, very important thing there. Now, what ends up happening when you're this kind of person is you have very strong vision for what you want, very clear personal boundaries. You see the value, you see the BS. So now let's bring that full circle to our very favorite topic of social skills or attraction. Now you're this kind of person, and you have very amazing boundaries on yourself. So you have no social anxiety. You're tapped in, so you're beaming with energy. You've freed up all the BS mental bandwidth that's sucking off you, so you're naturally very talkative. You naturally have a projecting voice. You naturally have dominant vocal tone. You're naturally very, very funny. You're naturally enjoying your time because you're that kind of a person naturally. Maybe there's some little dumb congruence test. You instantly fly through it. You've got a clear direction and vision for where it is that you want to go, the kind of people that you're around. You know the kind of things that you're going to put into your social media. You understand how to build funnels. You just kind of get this stuff. And you can really just clearly see the people that have this and the people who don't. it's like the Frederick Dawson book, Levels of Energy, right? There's some people operating like that higher level of energy, and some people operating in low level of energy. Some people operate in prosperity, some in scarcity. And you want to be one of those people that views it like an art form. So, you've watched me over the years teach social interaction, and you've seen how I've drilled down on that. And what I've tried to do is to expand that knowledge to show you how, whatever it is that you learn in social interaction, you can also use that here. Now, I'm going to be coming out to Orlando and Miami coming up. So if you're just logging onto this live, go to www.selfhelpfreetour.com. Make sure that you get in there. I am going to be doing, after that, I'm going to give you actually a full schedule right now. The full schedule coming up, and this is going to be super duper duper sick. Go to www.selfhelpfreetour.com. We have Orlando. First time been in Orlando in many years. Probably last time I'll be in Orlando. Don't fly in for that one, though. It's only one night. If you're in Jacksonville and Tampa, make sure you drive over. Miami is going to be 3 full days. That's April 21st to 23rd, because Orlando's April 18th. So this will be April 21st to 23rd. 3 full days in Miami. The whole world's flying in for it. Going to be super duper sick. Make sure that you fly into Miami, okay? Come and do it. It's completely for free, selfhelpfreetour.com. May 26th to 28th, another full 3-day event would be great to fly in for. That's in LA. Then Julian's doing a world tour all through Europe, okay? A big fat tour all through Europe, brother. June 15th, Zurich. June 17th, Vienna. June 19th, Paris. June 21st, Amsterdam. June 24th, Copenhagen. June 26th, Stockholm. June 28th, Berlin. Then we're back he's back in America. We're going to do July 12th, Portland. July 15th and 16th, Seattle. Could be decent to fly in for. August 17th and 18th, Chicago, Illinois. Could be decent to fly in for. 2 days is definitely worth flying in for. Even a night's worth flying in for, but the 2-day ones or the 3-day ones are the best to fly in for. I'm going to do a quick stop off in Honolulu. If you happen to be in Honolulu, August 24th, I'm going to do a free event right in the park. Probably be like 30, 40 people there. Honolulu is by far our smallest market. I'm just going out to Honolulu to have some fun. I'll catch 30, 40 people in the park out there. The park events, the weather's so crazy in Honolulu, you don't even need a seminar room. It's the only city I ever do it like that. September 15th, 16th, 17th, New York City. Going to be a full day 3 event, definitely worth flying in for. September 23rd, 24th, Boston. September 28th, Philly. September 30th, Washington. November 13th, Dallas. November 15th, Houston. November 18th, Austin. That'll be also 2 days. Could be good to fly in for. December 27th, Phoenix. December 28th, Vegas. January 10th, San Diego. January 13th and 14th, San Francisco. So those are going to be really, really, really good events to fly in for, okay? So make absolutely sure that you fly in for those, okay? Let me see how long we've been up here for, by the way. So make absolutely sure that you fly in for those events. Go to www.selfhelpfreetour.com. Get in there. Look, if you don't go to the freaking free event, you are so whacked off your mind. These are events that would be about $5,000 usually. The only reason that we do them for free is because we want to build community and we want to do some YouTube recordings, and we don't even put the best stuff on YouTube. But we take the scraps we put on YouTube and it winds up carrying us over. The very best content, of course, we're going to save for the people to come. We have a specific curriculum, helps you make money, helps you get better social skills, helps you get tapped in. We teach this at the free events. Get yourself to one of the free events. And likewise, in addition, I travel like crazy, right? And I'm going to do national parks in between and build the business in between. Now, by the way, last point here, this will be the last time that you hear me talking about this Endless Motivation Blueprint. And right here, www.endlessmotivationblueprint.com, this program is all about what it is that we talked about right here, right in this live. So get in there, okay? I see a couple hundred of you watching right now. We need to have a couple hundred people in here. It's inexpensive. It's the best value for dollar that you get to learn from me. You're literally going to be in here having me take you through this process to help you to get this down. I have studied how to create attraction and social skills for decades now, and you know what's kind of weird what I found? This is sort of what turns you into a natural, because it's a lot of those kind of boundaries, self-sustaining state, knowing how to take in more energy than goes out, and becoming that person who beams and radiates social energy, okay? And so I love you very much, and I really want to see you inside Endless Motivation Blueprint. And I know in your mind right now, you're like, you get a million things thrown at you, but if you care about yourself, you care about your own life, and you realize, while this is hot on your mind now, like you're watching this now live, right? You're like, okay, I'm watching this now, right now live. You're watching this, okay? And it's like, you can turn off the live, and you can go do something else. I understand that. You can forget about this, and I understand that. Or what you could do right now is burn the boats, burn the ships, throw your hat over the fence, and jump in here and immediately start working with me directly and with the tribe directly on these powerful concepts that it is that we're talking about here. And in 5 years from now or 10 years from now, when you look back at this exact moment, you're going to know that when you hopped in here, it changed your life. And I'm here to truly, truly, truly change your life. When we're inside here, I'm not doing off-the-cuff riff, live for fun. This is a very, very polished curriculum, step by step, and the interaction within the tribe and with me personally. I'm very, very excited to see you inside, but I can't care about it more than you. So if you care about your life and you want to do best for yourself and you resonate with the message that we shared here today and you see the benefit of it, just be spontaneous. Give yourself a little gift. Just give yourself a little gift. And I'll see you inside. We've gone this far together, and we've got a lot further to go together. Come see the real teaching inside endlessmotivationblueprint.com. I'm going to see you inside. Looking forward to seeing you there. And let's smash it. This has been a lot of fun. Hop over there right now. I'll see you inside. And talk to you soon. Peace.